From the Atlantic's crashing waves to the Pacific's serene shores, America's highways tell a story of national ambition, engineering prowess, and cultural connection. These asphalt arteries pump life throughout the country, connecting small towns with sprawling metropolises and carrying the heartbeat of American commerce, tourism, and daily life across vast distances. The longest of these highways represent more than just transportation infrastructure. They are ribbons of American heritage that have shaped the nation's development and continue to influence how Americans experience their country. The birth of America's highway system, long before automobiles roamed the continent, Indigenous peoples established extensive trail networks for trade, communication, and migration. These ancient pathways often followed natural contours of the land, navigating the most efficient routes through mountains, along rivers, and across plains. As European settlers pushed westward, many of these trails were widened to accommodate wagons, and eventually became some of the first formal roads in the developing nation. The advent of the automobile in the early 20th century revolutionized American transportation and sparked demand for improved roadways. In 1926, the United States numbered highway system was established, creating a network of routes that would connect communities across the country. These highways, marked by the now familiar shield-shaped signs, became the backbone of American travel. The highway system received its most significant expansion during the Eisenhower administration. Having been impressed by Germany's Autobahn network during World War II, President Dwight D. Eisenhower championed the Federal Aid Highway Act of 1956, creating the Interstate highway system. This massive infrastructure project was justified not only as a means to improve civilian transportation, but also as a national defense asset, allowing for the rapid movement of military personnel and equipment in times of crisis. Today, America boasts over 46,000 miles of interstate highways and tens of thousands more miles of US and state routes. These roadways have fundamentally altered American geography, economics, and culture, shaping everything from urban development patterns to vacation habits. US Route 20, America's longest highway, stretching an impressive 3,365 miles from Boston, Massachusetts to Newport, Oregon. US Route 20 holds the distinction of being America's longest highway. This mammoth route traverses 12 states, offering travelers a comprehensive cross-section of American geography, history, and culture. Beginning in Boston's historic Kenmore Square, Route 20 heads westward through the rolling hills of Massachusetts and New York, before cutting across the agricultural heartland of the Midwest. The highway crosses the mighty Mississippi River and continues through the Great Plains, eventually climbing into the Rocky Mountains. After passing through Yellowstone National Park, America's first national park, Route 20 crosses the Continental Divide and descends through Idaho and Oregon before reaching its western terminus at the Pacific Ocean. Along this transcontinental journey, Route 20 passes through countless communities that exemplify America's diversity, from the urbane sophistication of Boston to the industrial heritage of Cleveland, from the agricultural traditions of Iowa to the natural splendor of Wyoming. The highway offers a panoramic view of American life. Curious travelers will find numerous offbeat attractions along Route 20, including Carhenge in Alliance, Nebraska, a whimsical replica of England's Stonehenge constructed from vintage American automobiles. In Elkhart, Indiana, the RV Hall of Fame celebrates America's love affair with recreational vehicles and the freedom of the open road. US Route 6, the Grand Army of the Republic Highway. At 3,207 miles, US Route 6 claims the title of America's second longest highway. Beginning in Provincetown, Massachusetts, near where the Pilgrims first landed in 1620, Route 6 traverses 14 states before terminating in Bishop, California. In 1953, Route 6 was officially designated as the Grand Army of the Republic Highway to honor veterans of the American Civil War. This historical connection adds a layer of significance to travels along this route, reminding motorists of the nation's past struggles and the sacrifices made to preserve the Union. Route 6 offers a diverse array of natural and cultural experiences. Travelers can explore the sand dunes and beaches of Cape Cod National Seashore, gaze at the stars from Pennsylvania's Cherry Springs State Park, a designated dark sky preserve, or test their driving skills on the challenging switchbacks of Colorado's Loveland Pass, which crosses the Continental Divide at an elevation of 11,090 feet. Urban attractions along Route 6 include Cleveland's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, where visitors can explore the evolution of American popular music and its global influence. The highway also passes through Denver, offering access to the cultural amenities of Colorado's capital city, as well as the nearby Rocky Mountain National Park. US Route 30. Following the Lincoln Highway, measuring 3,073 miles from Atlantic City, New Jersey, to Astoria, Oregon. US Route 30 ranks as America's third longest highway. A significant portion of this route follows the historic Lincoln Highway, which was established in 1913 as America's first transcontinental automobile road. The Lincoln Highway holds a special place in American transportation history, as it represented one of the earliest attempts to create a cohesive coast-to-coast route for the then novel automobile. Named in honor of President Abraham Lincoln, the highway embodied the spirit of unity and progress that Lincoln championed during his presidency. Today, travelers on Route 30 can explore this rich heritage at sites like the Lincoln Highway Experience Museum in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. The 200-mile Lincoln Highway Heritage Corridor in Pennsylvania preserves numerous historic structures and attractions related to early automobile travel. Route 30 also features distinctive roadside architecture from America's golden age of highway travel. The Coffee Pot in Bedford, Pennsylvania, a building shaped like an enormous coffee pot, exemplifies the whimsical, mimetic architecture that once dotted America's highways to attract motorists. Similarly, the Haynes Shoe House in York, Pennsylvania, offers visitors the unusual opportunity to spend the night in a building shaped like a gigantic boot. Interstate 90, spanning the northern United States. Interstate 90, stretching 3,020 miles from Boston to Seattle, represents the longest interstate highway in America and the fourth longest highway overall. Unlike the older US routes, which often meander through town centers and follow historical pathways, I-90 was designed for efficiency and speed, bypassing urban cores and straightening routes wherever possible. Nevertheless, I-90 offers access to some of America's most spectacular scenery and significant landmarks. The highway traverses 13 states in the northern tier of the country, crossing the Great Lakes region, the Great Plains, and the Rocky Mountains before descending to Puget Sound. Mountain passes constitute some of I-90's most dramatic segments. Snoqualmie Pass in Washington's Cascade Range, Lookout Pass on the Idaho-Montana border, and Montana's Homestake Pass challenge drivers with steep grades and, in winter, hazardous weather conditions. At Homestake Pass, the interstate reaches 6,129 feet above sea level, offering breathtaking views of the surrounding mountains. Notable attractions accessible from I-90 include South Dakota's Mount Rushmore National Memorial, where the faces of 4 presidents are carved into a granite mountain face. In Minnesota, travelers can visit the 55-foot-tall Jolly Green Giant statue in Blue Earth, a quirky roadside attraction honoring the mascot of the Green Giant Vegetable Company. History enthusiasts might detour to Garnett in Montana, one of America's best-preserved ghost towns, which offers a glimpse into the region's mining history. US Route 50, the loneliest road in America. US Route 50 spans 3,019 miles from Ocean City, Maryland to Sacramento, California, making it the 5th longest highway in the United States. This extensive east-west corridor takes travelers through some of America's most diverse landscapes, from the densely populated eastern seaboard to the remote deserts of the Great Basin. In Nevada, a 300-mile segment of Route 50 traversing the Great Basin Desert has earned the nickname the loneliest road in America. This desolate stretch passes through just a handful of small communities and offers minimal services, creating an atmosphere of isolation that can be either intimidating or liberating, depending on one's perspective. The nickname, originally intended as a warning in a 1986 Life magazine article, has paradoxically become a marketing tool, drawing adventure seekers eager to experience this uniquely empty portion of America. Beyond its lonely Nevada section, Route 50 offers access to numerous natural wonders, including Lake Tahoe, whose crystal-clear waters straddle the California-Nevada border. In Utah, the highway provides a gateway to the otherworldly landscapes of Arches and Canyonlands National Parks, where millions of years of erosion have sculpted sandstone into fantastical formations. Cultural attractions along Route 50 include Lone Pine, California, a town that has served as a backdrop for Western films since the 1939 production of Gunga Din, starring Cary Grant. The area's distinctive rock formations, particularly those in the Alabama Hills, have appeared in countless movies and television shows, establishing an iconic image of the American West in global popular culture. Interstate 80, connecting East and West coasts. Interstate 80 stretches 2,899 miles from New York City to San Francisco, linking 2 of America's most significant metropolitan areas. This coast-to-coast highway follows portions of historic emigrant routes, including the California Trail used by pioneers heading west during the 1840s and 1850s. I-80 crosses 11 states and traverses diverse environments, from the densely populated Northeast Corridor to the wide open spaces of Wyoming and Nevada. Along the way, travelers can explore Ohio's Cuyahoga Valley National Park, where industrial history and natural beauty coexist along the Cuyahoga River. In Nebraska, the curious might stop at the world's largest time capsule in Seward, a concrete structure containing thousands of items sealed in 1975 and scheduled to be opened in 2025. As I-80 approaches the west coast, it passes through the Tahoe National Forest in California's Sierra Nevada mountains. This region, once the site of the California Gold Rush, now attracts visitors with its spectacular alpine scenery, recreational opportunities, and historical sites related to America's westward expansion. The cultural impact of America's highways. America's highways have profoundly influenced the nation's culture, inspiring literature, music, film, and art. Jack Kerouac's novel, On the Road, chronicled adventures along these very highways, helping to define the Beat generation and inspiring countless young Americans to embark on their own journeys of discovery. Musicians from Woody Guthrie to Bruce Springsteen have celebrated the freedom and possibility symbolized by America's roadways, creating anthems that resonate with the national spirit of mobility and independence. The development of distinctive roadside architecture and attractions represents another cultural contribution of America's highway system. In the mid-20th century, before the standardization brought by interstate chains, entrepreneurs created unique establishments to capture motorists' attention. Giant dinosaurs, buildings shaped like everyday objects, and other eye-catching structures turned America's highways into linear outdoor museums of vernacular creativity. The highway system also facilitated the development of distinctly American institutions like the drive-in restaurant, the motel, and the road trip vacation. These innovations reflected and reinforced America's love affair with the automobile and the open road, creating traditions that continue to resonate in contemporary culture despite technological and social changes. The future of America's highways. As America moves further into the 21st century, its highway system faces new challenges and opportunities. Aging infrastructure requires significant investment to maintain safety and functionality, while increasing concerns about environmental sustainability prompt questions about the future of automobile-centered transportation. Emerging technologies like electric vehicles, autonomous driving systems, and advanced traffic management tools promise to transform how Americans use their highways. These innovations may help address concerns about carbon emissions, traffic congestion, and highway safety, potentially reinvigorating these crucial transportation corridors for a new era. Whatever the future holds, America's longest highways will likely continue to serve as physical and symbolic connections between diverse regions and communities. These grand thoroughfares have become integral to the American experience, embodying the nation's vastness, its spirit of mobility, and its enduring desire to bridge distances and differences. From coast to coast, border to border, America's highways remain ribbons of asphalt and concrete that bind together a diverse and dynamic nation. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, we'd really appreciate it if you could give it a thumbs up. It really helps support the channel. And if you'd like to see more content like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out. Your support means the world to us. Consider clicking on the videos linked in the corners if you want to watch more.